I'm Tia Borden with MiningIR, and joining me today is the wonderful Clive Massey from Universal Copper. Clive, it's so nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well, Tia. Thank you for having me on today.
On a beautiful sunny day. Clive, can you tell us a little bit about Universal Copper and what exchanges you're trading on?
Universal Copper is a company which I founded a number of years ago to take advantage of what I thought would be a rising copper price, and as it turns out, I was right. Currently, the company trades on the TSX, over the counter in the US, and also on the Frankfurt Exchange in Germany.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the flagship Poplar project that you are currently a part of?
I'd love to, Tia. In fact, I can tell you all kinds of things about the Poplar. So the Poplar is a very large project. It's over 61,000 hectares, and the project is located directly southwest of Houston, 85 kilometers southwest of Houston. It is arguably the largest copper deposit in British Columbia that is not developed. And in relation to potentially developing it, it has excellent infrastructure nearby. The deep water port of Prince Rupert is 400 away. There are deep water railheads nearby. The property is bisected by an all-weather haul road and also hydroelectric lines. So it's ideally located in central British Columbia for potential.
And we know BC is beautiful all around.
Yes.
Now, what would attract potential suitors, and what would this mean for potential investors?
Well, the threshold where other companies might be potentially interested in an acquisition is the £500 million range. We currently have 2 billion pounds of copper under the 43-101 standard, and we are currently working to expand that. We have 9 other targets on the property aside from the area of known discovery, that being the Poplar. So it's very likely that we're going to be able to expand this. It's just a matter of by how much.
And how much time will that take?
Well, it depends on how successful we are, but it could take anywhere from 1 to 3 years. I think that the current round of drilling is going to expand the area of known discovery significantly, and the truth machine will tell.
Now, Clive, Universal recently reported assay results from the last drill program. Could you provide some of the high points from that drilling?
Certainly, Tia, I'd love to. So we drilled 6 holes in the last round of drilling. One of those holes was the 28th best drill hole drilled in the copper industry last year. It was over half a kilometer, or 480 meters, of 0.58, which for a porphyry copper deposit is very good grade. If you compare that to the overall grade, average grade of all the mines which are presently in production, it's slightly higher. The average grade is 0.5. So it's very nice grade. And a number of the holes also bottomed in mineralization, which strengthens our geological theory, or supports our geological theory, that the area of known discovery extends to the east, and also that the grade gets richer at depth.
Now, Clive, you're in the midst of drilling right now. What are some of the objectives for this project?
Well, Tia, it's really, as I touched on a moment ago, it's really to expand the area of known resource and check and to follow up on the previous program, as well as test the extension to the east and the plunge of that extension.
Now, you've also mentioned that you have a wonderful technical team. Can you tell us about who you're currently working with on the technical side of things?
Yes, we're very pleased to be working with Vector Geological. Vector is headed by Dan McNeil and Dr. Alan Wainwright. Alan has a PhD specifically in porphyries. Dan has many years of experience working in porphyry environments, and they've been heading up our relogging program. Tim Henneberry is our VP of exploration. Tim is also a very seasoned guy, specifically in copper. And we also work with Ray Waldachuk. Ray oversees the actual drilling on the ground. So we're very pleased to have those guys working for us, and with the level of experience and technical expertise that they have.
And everyone knows having a strong team makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Clive, tell us about how using new tech to relog old cores from previous drill campaigns has added potential to this project.
Well, Tia, it's just to be clear, it's not so much new tech as it is relogging old core where the data had previously been misplaced. Some of this core was previously drilled in the 1970s and 1980s. So we wanted to create a new data set which would give us a better understanding of what was discovered in some of that previous drilling.
Wonderful. Now, the Poplar is a known copper belt. Who are the notable neighbors that have mines in production, and how does Universal compare in size and scope?
Well, the Poplar itself is situated in the Kva Hazelton rock package, which is a highly prospective rock package. And in terms of neighbors, there is the Berg copper deposit, there is the Utsa copper deposit, there's the Huckleberry Copper Mine, which is approximately 35K away to the southwest. Teck is operating a mine to the north. Equity Silver is also to the north. This rock package has produced a number of mines in the past, and for that reason, Sumitomo and Mitsubishi have previously been interested in the area as a potential area of consolidation.
So wonderful area all around.
Yes.
Now, do you anticipate building the mine or selling the asset to another mining major?
Well, we put a mine into production in the early 90s, and it took 10 years, and it was absolute brain damage. And so we determined then that whatever else we did, we would not go down that path again. So we see the fastest path to profits for our investors through the sale of an acquisition, not down the long and painful road of production. So that's the game plan. Continue to expand the area of known resource and build it up for an exit.
Now, Clive, copper prices are currently high. How do you see prices changing, or do you think that they're going to stay the same in the future?
Well, it's a very good question, Tia, and I'm glad you asked it. One of the things which separates this copper cycle from others is that there has been very little investment in copper exploration in the last decade. So for that reason, there aren't a whole host of copper deposits waiting for stronger copper prices to go into production. And copper demand is continuing to strengthen, probably more rapidly than it ever has in the past, as a result of adoption rates of electric vehicles. For example, an internal combustion engine driven car has 55 pounds of copper in it. An EV has on average 165 pounds of copper. And let's not forget that places like India, for example, have almost 500 million middle-class people. And, the third world is continuing to develop, and nothing's going to happen without electric wire. And at the moment, demand is outstripping supply by about 85,000 metric tons annually. And I think that's going to continue to grow. The adoption rates, arguably, of EVs are going to continue to grow as well. The CEO of Freeport-McMoRan recently predicted $20 a pound copper. Now, whether that's dreaming or not, I don't know. But one thing I do know is it's going higher.
Now, Clive, what are you hearing? I'm sure there's a lot of buzz, on the streets. What are you hearing from other major producers?
In terms of the copper price going higher, or in terms of them being interested in our project?
In terms of them being interested in your project.
Well, nobody's come knocking on our door at the moment, but with 2 billion pounds of copper, that gives us, with an in situ value of 10 cents a pound, that gives us a valuation of $200 million. Divide that by 89 million shares. It gives us a significantly higher share price than where we're trading today, which should be pretty attractive. With 9 other targets on the property, the likelihood of expanding the area of known discovery is significant. I think we can do that. And I think that's the point where they would be interested.
Now, obviously, that's super exciting insight for shareholders. Now, what are some of the catalysts that you're predicting for 2022?
Well, really, in terms of catalysts, Tia, we're going to continue to expand the area of known discovery. We're going to test some of those outlying targets. We're currently drilling. We expect to have drill results from this drill program, which is comprised of 4 holes, sometime around the end of May or early June, which will put us back on the ground around the end of July, into possibly early August, with results in the fall. And I think if we keep generating the kinds of results which we've previously generated, we can't help but continue to expand the area of known resource. And at the moment, you know, you look at our share price in relation to other copper companies and what our current resource is, we're the cheapest call on copper out there today.
Now, Clive, you obviously have an exciting year ahead, also a very busy one. Is there any other information that you'd like to share with our potential investors or anyone watching this today?
I think we've covered most things, Tia. I think the only other thing I'd like to add is we also have a very seasoned board of directors as well, and seasoned management team. And I have been involved in other exits in the past. I had a uranium company previously, which we bought a project we brought a 51% interest in that project for $1 million, and we sold that 51% interest back to the vendor for 150 times what we paid for it, $153 million.
Wow.
I was also involved with Lumina Copper, got involved with that company at 70 cents, and Lumina was sold off to Teck for $450 million or $43 a share. So it's something we have a little bit of experience with.
To say the least. Clive, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. And for anyone else looking for more information, you can visit the website at universalcopper.com. And Clive, I hope to see you very soon.
Thanks very much for having me, Tia, and it's always nice to see you as well. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.